You're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. We'll be right back.
Yes, you got it. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining Ladies in the Locker Room on our Green Saints, our Sandy Springs Green Saints night. Let's give them a big round of applause. That's right. So now, let's find out who everybody is.
I am Patrick Jones, number 41.
I am Luke Miller, number 29.
I'm Jonathan Gallinaro, number 14.
I'm Tayshawn Lemon, number 11.
Riley Coward, number 8.
Charlie Mutz, 35.
Joshua Wagner, 50.
Okay, so these guys, I heard something. You guys got to tell me if it's true or not. I heard that you guys were undefeated. Is that true?
Yes!
And what is your record right now?
6-0.
6-0. You know you guys got a better record than the Falcons and the Giants, and the list can just go on and on. You guys have a better record than some of them. And the Saints are still hanging in there though. Oh, wait a minute. But they're doing very well too. Now, my next question. Tell me, since we're talking about some of the professional teams, who are your favorite NFL players? Who's your favorite?
It's Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Another Matt Ryan.
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones. That's the way I like to say that.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson, AP baby.
Julio Jones.
Matthew Stafford.
Matthew, I love Matt Stafford. One more.
Oh,
Can't think of his name. What team does he play for? The Saints? Is it the quarterback? D. Breezy. Oh, I know who that is. I call him D. Breezy. But his name is Drew Brees. Excellent choice. Okay, guys. Now, when you're out there on that field, tell me, how did you become 6-0? What did you do? What's your favorite thing to do when you're out there on the field?
We try hard.
Try hard. What else?
we do our best.
Do your best. Very good.
We tackle.
Tackle. That's the name of the game.
We make touchdowns.
Make touchdowns.
Interception.
Interception.
We kick good.
Get good.
We're the best. Tackle. We're the best.
And we're the best.
We're the best.
And we're the best. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Sandy Springs Saints. You can catch them on Tuesdays and Thursdays in October. And they are undefeated, 6-0. And you got to come and see them. I remember the first time I went to the first game, and I had my mom with me. And she said, "Are they going to make those babies run the whole 100 yards?" And yes, they do. They run the whole 100 yards. Now, Tayshawn Lemon, I understand that you have over 500 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. And Jonathan Gallinaro, I heard that you lead the team in tackles. And I was told that we have to keep an eye on Luke Miller because he will hurt somebody if he let him loose. So, anybody else got any other secrets you want to tell us? How do you plan to stay undefeated?
We try hard.
Try hard.
Well, you go under someone and basically try to flip them over.
Is that legal?
We strip the ball from people.
Strip the ball, okay.
We
I'll come back. You want to think about it?
intercept.
Interception.
We recover fumble.
Recover fumble.
When we tackle, we always wrap.
When you tackle, you wrap them up. You know what I love about that? These guys understand, they get it. They're telling me what they're supposed to do out there on the field, and so far it's been working for them. You guys, I just want to say thanks for coming out tonight. Enjoy your evening. This is where it begins. Some of you may go on one day to become professional football players, or baseball players, or basketball players, or soccer players. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining Ladies in the Locker Room. Each week we cover a different topic or subject surrounding sports. This week we're covering a very serious topic involving one of the NFL players, Adrian Peterson of the Minnesota Vikings. It was reported on Friday that his 2-year-old son had passed away and that he had been murdered by the mother's boyfriend. Now, when I first heard this story, of course, it was very disturbing to me that a 2-year-old had been murdered. As the story continued to, open up, I found out that the child had been beaten or given a spanking that went way too far, and he ended up dying from blunt force trauma. So he was in the hospital from Wednesday to Friday, and he was in a coma, and he passed away on Friday. Now, Adrian Peterson is probably one of the most prolific athletes in the NFL. He's a great runner. He's overcome tragedy in his life before. He overcame a bad knee injury, but he came back stronger and better. This was something that I just couldn't understand, because if your child died on Friday, how do you go out on Sunday and play football? I could not imagine that you would be in the right state of mind. So the first thing I thought about it, as an owner of the team, I would have just said, I don't care if you say, just like when they have the concussions, they say, I can do it, coach, let me get back in there. So I'm thinking of it like that. So my first thought was that the owners should have just said, nope, go home, go grieve. Go home, go grieve. But I would not have let my player back in the game or in the game knowing that their challenge has passed, because I think that much intensity would either hurt the player or he'll hurt someone else. So I was real confused. Like, how could he even get his mind right? I have children, and I know some of you probably have children, but I just couldn't understand, how do you wrap your mind around going to play a football game? I don't care how important you think it is if your 2-year-old child was just murdered. Then, as the week progressed and as time went on, the story started to unfold, and now I'm hearing other parts of it. So, Rahmana is going to clue us in on some of these other parts.
Well, I think probably most of us agree that when we saw him make his statement, it was a little disconcerting to see how cool, calm, collected, and unaffected he seemed to be. Most people were like, wow.
I thought he had lost his mind.
Yeah.
When he made the statement, I thought he just cracked up.
Something did not sit right about it with most of us. So I continued to follow the story, and I think the key fact here is that it's not his biological child. The biological father of the child has stepped forward and said that this is my son, and it sounds like a sticky situation, because he's actually saying that he has found out that this is his son as this boy is on his deathbed. So he didn't know. So I'm going to assume that the coolness of that statement that Peterson made was him probably trying to control his own emotions for whatever he's feeling, because he must have just found out as well. Yes. Even a child is not your personal genes. If I've cared for a baby 2 years of its life and all of a sudden it's dead and somebody killed it, I still don't feel like I can just get up there and say, can we just talk about football and, I'll have to deal with that later. I still don't get that. So I think that you're right. There's a lot more to this factor that we may not know. But even if he was dating the baby's mother, for him to be so disconnected, I still have a problem with that. I'm trying not to rush to judgment, because I've experienced tragedy in my own life. I've seen other people. Everyone deals with it in their own way. Sometimes you want to just do what you do, work, whatever it is, to get your mind off of it and
give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's what's going on, but it is odd for him to react so coolly. And no matter what, if you've spent time with a child, even if it's not yours,
Just know the child.
yeah, you would think that their passing would affect you deeply. But I guess time will tell. The story's unfolding. We'll see what's going on, and maybe it'll become clearer.
So I still have a question.
I have a question, and if there's anybody in the audience that would like to help answer this question, or I'd like to hear your take on it, this is my question. If you were the owner of an NFL team, NBA team, national, professional, football, baseball, basketball team, if you were the owner and one of your players had just lost a wife, a child, especially I want to say a wife and a child, even if they say, I can go, coach, I can do it, would you still allow them to play?
I think you should leave it up to the player. Yes, I think coaches are very sensitive to their players. They know them. They've spent so much time with them. Just to the general public, he seemed okay. So I'm sure his coach maybe evaluated the situation, and since he said he could play, he let him. I think I would do the same. I wouldn't, if someone says they're okay and that they can play, what reason would you stop them?
I would say no. I would say go home and grieve. I wouldn't have, because as I said, is that if he was a ticking time bomb, it would just, anything could have just blew that bomb up. So as an owner, I would have said, no son, go home, deal with your family, go grieve. We'll see you next week. I wouldn't leave him home.
Maybe the coach, though, had the inside information.
It's possible. That's very possible. Maybe they did. Well, that's our topic for today. We'll be back with tonight's picks in a little while. We'll be right back.